And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Friday, January 28th. I am Josh Engleman, and I am here to break down an 11-game NBA slate. We're going to need to move pretty quickly through this one. We need to be out by, let's call it 7:45. That's going to be the goal. So we're going to have to keep it moving on this one. As you get in the door, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. It's good to see everybody. Good morning to everybody in chat right now. Tons of coffee cups, tons of well wishes. I love to see it. Botnuts won, you won $144 off of dummy lines. That'll work. Can't be mad about that. All right, you know what we need to do, though? We got to get it started quickly. 11 games is a lot. We don't have time for me to drag my heels, and I am tired, at which point I usually don't do as well on these shows. So, good morning to everybody. Happy to have everybody here. Rise and grind. 5 straight days of it this week. You got to love it. I've got my coffee. I hope you've got something. Coffee, tea, water, beer, hot dogs we established yesterday. Potential breakfast start to the day. So ice cold Diet Coke, that'll work too, Larry. I got my coffee. I'm ready to drink it. I desperately need it. Cheers to you guys. Let's win some money tonight. Feeling good. Didn't play the 2-gamer last night. Felt like it was just easier to dodge that and live my life. And I guess that was right. Izzy, congrats. Tied for first in the FanDuel Dime last night. That's awesome. We're going to kick it off. Detroit Pistons taking on the Orlando Magic. 211 total in this one. Pistons 2-point dogs. This is a battle of two of the worst teams in the NBA, but we got to project it nonetheless. And as we start, we've got no Jeremy Grant, no Kelly Olynyk. Josh Jackson is questionable. And we did get Frank Jackson back this last time out. I don't really think that I have a lot that I need to change here. We've got Killian. Like, all of the minutes that I have projected right now are pretty similar to the rotation that we had last time out, which means we also have the same rates as the last time out, which means that I don't really have anything that I want to change in this particular matchup for today. So, with that said, I think we can already pack in Detroit. Detroit has been running similar rotations. And on a day like today, on an 11-gamer, getting the guy that's going to play 20 minutes for the Pistons, it's probably not that day. So let's go check out Orlando, see how different that's going to be. For Orlando, we have no Fultz, no Isaac, no Hampton, no MCW, no Eton Moore. So Orlando is, by all accounts, healthy, as healthy as they can be, really, other than RJ Hampton. But this is just standard issue Orlando. You know, you're going to get like 32 minutes out of Gary Harris, 30-something minutes out of Franz Wagner, which I guess I need to bump up. Going with the 33. We got 32 in for Cole Anthony. Seems reasonable. Wendell Carter, 31. Looks fine to me. Mo Bamba, 26. I'm going to take one of those minutes away. Give it to Wendell Carter. That looks fine. 26 for Bamba seems fine. Looking good today, too. But we know what we're doing here for this team, too. So I don't have much that I want to change. I think that we could just immediately look at Detroit and Orlando. It's one of those days where it's good because we're coming off of a 2-game slate, which means that basically every team has submitted an injury report. And that makes just doing this job a little bit easier on a day like today. So for now, I think Sadiq Bey looks solid across both sites. Cade Cunningham is someone you could probably roster across both sites. Isaiah Stewart is someone that I think you can feel comfortable getting to at least a little bit on DraftKings. No real priorities from Detroit, though. Orlando, a little bit different. I think Cole Anthony still stands out, 6,400 and 6,800 across FanDuel and DraftKings. And then Mo Bamba, 4,800 on FanDuel, 5,200 on DraftKings. That's at 26 minutes. If he falls into 28 or 30, you're probably going to need him. That's a really nice price tag. So, and on a day like today, on FanDuel, you're going to need like 40. So be aware of that. 4,800. One game down. I mean, that one went quick. And it probably seems like I'm not spending a lot of time on it, but at the same time, it's Detroit and Orlando on an 11-game slate with a crappy total. So we don't need to drag our heels. Some days we could just shoot the shit and be here for hours on end. Today's not that day. Aaron Nesmith off the injury report. Everybody else that's normally available for Boston is available. I know, Larry. It's going to be fun. I'm excited to do the show with Laffy tonight. There's going to be a couple Josh and Laffy shows next week as well. And they're really going to start to pick up now that football is almost done. Ooh, that's good. Ooh, that was actually a really tasty sip. Anyway, let's get into Boston. Same rotation that we saw last time should be the rotation we see here. It's tough for me and Laffy on a deeper dive just because we have a time crunch. But we should be getting pretty close to where Laffy and I can do a strategy show and just go for 2 hours. There won't have to be anything on after us. All right, Marcus Smart in for 32 minutes. Looks fine. Schroeder in for 22. Yeah, I don't really have anything I want to change here either. I mean, I got Al Horford in for 29 minutes. That might be a little bit too high. Maybe we bump that down. We bump Grant Williams up a hair. It's been a while since we've had a strategy show go from like 10 to noon where Laffy and I start talking about a different sport or something. I mean, I don't really have anything else I want to change here for Boston. I'm giving Romeo Langford minutes. I mean, in theory, they could go to Peyton Pritchard, but those rotations that last time out were an ass beating. So I'm actually pretty comfortable with what I've got here. That's another team just down. The same rotation we had last time. No changes, no rate changes, no injuries. So when you get a team right from a couple days ago, you don't have to follow it up again. Now, Atlanta might be a little bit more complicated because we just got Bogdanovich back. Hunter, they have nobody on the injury report. So this one is going to probably be a little bit more confusing. Bogdanovich came back and played 24 minutes. That was on Wednesday. I missed the Friday DVD pulls. We had a good time there. We had a really good time there. All right, Trae Young in for 35. DeLon Wright in for 13. That actually needs to get bumped up. I'm fine with 28 on Bogdanovich. I'm fine with 28 on Capella. 20 on Okongwu. 30 for John Collins. 24 for Gallo. 32 for DeAndre Hunter. Yeah, I don't think I really want to change anything here. Maybe I'd take Hunter down to 30, but it's not like that's what he was playing. So I think this is another one where we have Atlanta set up. This is where we're going to be. 2 games. Very, very quick. And neither one of them on the surface looked like they were going to be great DFS games to begin with. We've got, I don't know, Time Lord maybe as like a potential option. We've got to remember, we're likely looking at scores in like the 450s on FanDuel today. So target scores are a little bit different. I would say Robert Williams is your best option coming out of Boston. Tatum looks okay for 9,700. Jaylen Brown looks okay for 8,300. The FanDuel prices are a little bit better on the Boston guys than they are on the FanDuel side for Boston than they are on the DraftKings side. But again, like, not amazing plays, but we're going to have Lakers, Charlotte, as the next game up, 228 total. Portland, Houston, 232 total. We've got Bulls, Spurs, Minnesota, Phoenix, all these 230 type total games. We're going to see some guys picking up in a little bit, but for right now, it's obviously never a problem if you get to Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown or, Smart, Williams, whatever. They're just not likely to do it. It's just they're not all that likely to put up these monster scores because they're priced correctly. So we'll move it on then to Atlanta. For Atlanta, $9,100 Trae Young on FanDuel, I think, stands out as a guy that you'll probably get a little bit more of today. $4,400 Bogdan Bogdanovich on DraftKings is a guy you'll need to pay attention to because he could fall into additional playing time. There's no reason that he can't. So, while it's not the best fantasy matchup in the world, if Bogdanovich happens to get a little bit more playing time, $4,400 is an easy salary for him to pay off. So we are 2 games in. Well, let's keep it moving. Now, this one I assume is going to be interesting. Lakers on the back-to-back. We didn't get LeBron James yesterday, which certainly is going to complicate matters here. I'm going to assume that he's playing today, unless we've gotten word. Yeah, all right, so he's questionable. AD doubtful on the back-to-back. AD, by the way, went out and played 34 minutes yesterday with no LeBron, so he ended up becoming a necessity on DraftKings, which is funny to see. But we talked about it. There was no reason he couldn't play that. I just didn't expect him to. But if he was able to do it, they were going to let him do it, and they did. Now, should we be assuming that AD is not playing a back-to-back? That makes the most sense to me. I don't know why he would. So I'm going to take Anthony Davis out of this matchup, at which point Dwight Howard is going to be in the rotation. We're going to give him 14 minutes. Stanley Johnson, I think, probably looking at like 24, 26. We'll go to 24 on old Stan here. Although he has played more than that in the past too. So let's say it is 26. I think that's a little bit safer. I've got LeBron in for 36. I'm going to assume that he's in. Yeah, I saw he hurt his wrist. I don't think that's going to matter for today. I just assume he's sitting out because of logic reasons. Although they can't really afford to be sitting him too much. All right, we've got Austin Reeves in for not enough minutes, so we're going to bump him up to 24. That leaves me 12 extra minutes. I think they just go to Trevor Ariza. I do need to change the rates, unfortunately, because if we're going to assume that Anthony Davis is out, that's going to be very different. If it happens to end up that LeBron is out and AD is out, buckle up, because you're going to be playing just an overwhelming amount of Russell Westbrook in this matchup against the Hornets. But for now, we're going to say games where Anthony Davis did not play. And then we're going to do LeBron and Russ playing in the game. Now let's grab some rates. And who knows, maybe LeBron ends up out, but the game is early. It's not worth speculating, but I think assuming LeBron is in and AD is out is the better option for today. To me, it just makes more sense. Just because I can't imagine they want AD playing back-to-backs already. And I think we would already know if LeBron was out. I think they would have just ruled him out for both games. Shit, he might be back in LA if that were the case. All right, so those are the rates. Izzy, it's a back-to-back. All right, so if this breaks the way that I think it is right now, and I'm happy to take this assumption, no AD, LeBron in, 33% usage rate for LeBron. Assist rate is not all that high. I'm going to discount that. Rebounding rate does go up, though. Russ, 27.5% usage rate. Assist rate is down. Rebounding rate is fine. THT is slightly better. But this is one we're just gonna have to pay attention to, because we have no idea what this game's gonna really look like. But it doesn't matter, because it's an early start and we'll have this info. Or at least we should. We'll break it down on the deeper dive and stuff later tonight too. So there's that. All right, those are the rates for LA. Not going to look all that bad. That's what happens when you face Charlotte. Now, if LeBron gets ruled out, just to put it on the screen, just to plant this seed for everybody. When LeBron James and Anthony Davis are not on the floor and Russell Westbrook is, Russell Westbrook has played 342 minutes without both of those guys on. He's got a 34.4% usage rate. Just think about that for right now. Russell Westbrook today on FanDuel is 7,800. He's 8,600 on DraftKings. If you bump Russ to a 30-something% usage rate, and I'm going to assume his assist rate is, let's see, 70 divided by 715. Yeah, he's going to be very, 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 very popular. He looks good now with my assumption that LeBron is in for 7,800. He's just a different player. So let's finish off Charlotte, who could be confusing here. They've had some guys in and out. Yeah, the turnovers kill him on FanDuel, but he's cheap. So you got to remember, he's not priced like he's 10K any longer. All right, Charlotte. We've got no Gordon Hayward still. Good to know that he's just out. I mean, not that I want him to be hurt, but like it's not a Q tag thing. No Jalen McDaniels. Q tag on Oubre after he went crazy this last time out, but clearly we're leaving Oubre in. So let's check out Charlotte's rotation. I think 33 minutes for LaMelo is reasonable, but he is averaging a little bit more than that. I am going to go to 34. And we're going to go to 34 on Terry Rozier as well, although has not been playing that many minutes. We'll go 33 on Terry Rozier. I'm going to take Bouknight's minutes away, Ish's minutes away. Plumlee in for 24. Matchup against the Lakers doesn't really matter all that much, and he's just a confusing guy to roster, but I am going to give him 25 minutes. And then PJ Washington, somehow, even with Gordon Hayward and Jalen McDaniels out, is still just playing basically backup center. So they went to a Miles Bridges at the 5. Oh, no, they had blowout run. Okay. So, yeah, maybe I'm going 26. I'm going 26-22. And only 26 minutes to PJ Washington. And even that feels scary. 36 minutes for Miles Bridges. That I'm comfortable with. 24 for Oubre. Maybe 25 feels more reasonable. We're going to need to bump Cody Martin's minutes up a bit. Well, maybe not bump them up, but redistribute them. I think I want to get Kelly Oubre up to 28. So if we do that, we want to get Cody Martin to 32. So there we go. I got 25 minutes left over. Book Night is the guy that got them this past time. At the very least, we want to give Book Night like 18 minutes. That still leaves me 7. I don't know who I would give them to, though. It's probably Kelly Oubre, but anybody could, like, it could just as easily be somebody else. I'll throw them to Ish, and that should be fine. Now, rates stay the same. That's just this team. And Charlotte looks exceptional today. So we talked about LA. LeBron looks good, 10-7 on FanDuel, 11-2 on DraftKings. We've got Russ, 7,800 on FanDuel, 8,600 on DraftKings. You know, those are the two guys we're looking at first. I'm happy to get to the value of Stanley Johnson. I think he'll be pretty important. But the team we're really looking at here is the Charlotte Hornets. They just look really good. Miles Bridges, 7,700 on FanDuel, 7,600 on DraftKings, which means Miles Bridges' price came down. Now, we got to remember, this is a massive pace-up spot for Charlotte and the Lakers, for that matter. Charlotte is second in pace. The Lakers are 5th. So we're talking about talking about a 102.75 pace. So that's, you know, we're gaining like 2 possessions over your average for this one. That's like an extra fantasy point for everybody. LaMelo, 8,600 on FanDuel, 8,400 on DraftKings. So his price is better on DraftKings now. Both guys look great. I'm not a huge fan of Terry Rozier today, but still somebody you're rostering. Cody Martin, I think, looks like a really nice value play. So does Mason Plumlee to me. So does PJ Washington to me. Kelly Oubre, probably a bit overpriced at 6K on FanDuel, 5,700 on DraftKings. A little bit better just because of the positionality, but I mean, MPEs across the board on everybody from Charlotte, great prices. I would be surprised if Charlotte isn't the best team you could roster today. Load up on the Charlotte Hornets. And if LeBron happens to be out, load up even more. I think the key piece here, no matter which way this breaks, we've got, I don't think Anthony Davis and LeBron James are going to play today, but I do think one of the two is going to play today. And I think that's a decent enough proxy for the other. Slightly different stats and all, but that's where I'm looking at it. What is AD's price today? Just to see if they changed anything. Because if AD happens to be in, he's 8,900 on FanDuel, power forward center, 9,800 on DraftKings. He's a smash play on FanDuel if LeBron happens to be out and he plays again. All right, we're on to game number 4. So hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. Portland Trailblazers at Houston. This is going to be another one that's really nice. We definitely need to take Nas Little out now. He's going to be done likely for the season for Portland. I believe he tore a labrum at the shame. He was really starting to look a little bit better as of late. Portland just snake bit this season. So no Nance, no Lillard. Covington is questionable. DSJ is questionable. CJ Ellaby is doubtful. And now we're not going to have Little or Cody Zeller for a while. So let's try to redistribute some of these minutes for today. I got Nurk in for probably too many minutes, but let's see. He played 31. He seems to be playing about 31 a night. Now, we're starting to run low on like center ops. Who's playing backup center in these games? I guess it's like, who the hell was the backup center in their last game? I legitimately have no idea. How small are they going? They didn't have Bobby Covs. When the fuck did Portland play? Here we go. 25th. All right. So Nurk comes off Trendon Watford. And then they have McCollum, Little, Covington. This isn't the most recent game. That's the 25th. Let's go to add more funds. It'll be easier. Rotations. Portland. Where are you hiding, Portland? All right, there we go. So Nurk comes off for this big chunk. Trendon Watford is basically the straight backup. Isn't he small? I mean, he's all right, 6'8". I underestimated his height. He's listed as a shooting guard on Basketball Monster. So I guess I'm calling Trendon Watford the backup center. Sure. He's going to play 17 minutes. That makes some sense. I think that'll be fine. Because it could be, guys like Covington or Little on other days. Not going to be the case now. Now, I am going to assume Robert Covington is playing. I don't really see a way around that. And he has been playing massive minutes with a lot of these guys out. So, I am going to leave him in for 34. Simon's in for 36, feels right. DSJ is the straight backup. CJ in for 36, feels right. Ben McLemore, 20 minutes seems right. I do need some minutes as a backup 4 somewhere. CJ Ellaby is doubtful, correct? Yeah, so we're going to leave CJ Ellaby out for this one, which means we need to give Tony Snell some time. We'll give him the straight backup run there. Snell did fall into 28 minutes with no Covington, but if Covington's back, I don't think it matters. And then isn't Greg Brown a big small forward? Norm Powell played 36, so we'll get 36, which takes us to not really needing anybody else. We'll just assume DSJ soaks them up. 9-man rotation. It's not like you're playing DSJ. Rates stay the same. I'm fine with everything we have in here now. So Portland actually, Simon's on DraftKings, CJ, Nurk, Norm Powell, Covington. A lot to like here for Portland because that's what happens when you face Houston. Everybody looks better. Just as a reminder, Houston Rockets, the fastest team in the league. Portland is 17th. Massive pace up spot here for Portland. So we would estimate the pace here in this matchup. We got Houston at 101.2. We've got Portland at 98. And then we get league average at 98. Minus Portland's normal pace. They gain 3.1 possessions over their average. That is a massive bump. It's like a 1.5 for someone like CJ. So that's why everybody's going to look a lot better on Portland. For the Houston side of this one, really curious to see what they do up on the trade deadline. All right, so KPJ available, which means this should be a standard issue Houston rotation. They played the exact same rotation for 4 straight games, which means we don't really have anything crazy to look at. We've got Eric Gordon in for 30 minutes. In theory, I think I should make that 31 because if it's competitive, I think he's playing more. So we'll find him an extra minute. I got KPJ in for 32. I think I want to make that 31. So we're good there. 29 for Jalen Green feels right. 32 for Christian Wood feels honestly a little bit too much. I'm going to go 31 and 17 to Şengün. 27 for Jayshawn Tate is probably too many. We're going to go 26-22 for both he and Kenyon Martin. And now I think all of our rates are going to be fine here. So this is another game, Portland and Houston, that just jumps off the page. CJ McCollum, 7,700 on FanDuel, 7,300 on DraftKings. Great price tag. One of my favorites for the day. These guys look a lot better on DK too. Like Norm Powell, 7,400 on FanDuel. You can play him. You're probably looking for like 50. You're going to need like 50 out of Norm Powell on a day like today. That's not a highly likely scenario. He's 6,100 on DraftKings, shooting guard, small forward. He should be incredibly popular at that price, because there you're only looking for like 45. That's a monstrous swing. Anthony Simon, 6,800 on DraftKings, looks amazing. Robert Covington, if he's able to play, looks really good across both sites, including FanDuel, where he's small forward, power forward. And then Nurk, 8,300 on FanDuel, 8K on DraftKings. Very solid. I got him at 1.43 fantasy points per minute in this matchup. Just that pace up spot. Matchup against Christian Wood should be good. We'll see where we end up, but you're going to be playing a lot of the Portland starters. And then on the Houston side, it's murky. Like, none of these guys look as good as the Portland guys, but you are rotating through them. I think Kevin Porter looks the best, 6,200 and 6,400. I'd say, like, Christian Wood looks fine. Jalen Green looks solid on DraftKings. No major priorities. Maybe it'll help a little bit if we take a look at the list. I think we're 5 games in. And I'll make this bigger so everybody can see it. But we'll try to summarize where we're at from a reference sake. That is 5 games, right? Oh, we're 4 games in. Shit. All right. Let's lop one of those off. All right, there we go. So for everybody that we've looked at so far, best plays we've got across both sites going to be, let's take the formatting off of this. Give me 1 second. That green is just going to bother me. Okay, there we go. Boom. Got it. Best plays so far. On FanDuel, I'd say that it's Miles Bridges, Mo Bamba, Robert Covington if he can play. But a lot of this is similar. Miles Bridges, though, at the top. We've got... Here's the crazy thing. Here's the thing that people probably miss. Let's just say that we're playing this early slate. We have 8 guys right here. Bridges, Bamba, Covington, LaMelo Ball, Cole Anthony, CJ McCollum, Mason Plumlee, Cody Martin. Those are the best guys we have so far on FanDuel. But their boom scores only total 114%, which means the most likely scenario here is that only one of these guys pops crazy. Maybe a second one hits their target score. The third most likely scenario is that none of them do it. That's how difficult this is. Because even the best play, like even Miles Bridges, if you want to be like, this guy's definitely in an optimal lineup, you're looking for 53. Even if you just want to say it's 50 and he's in there a quarter of the time, 3 out of 4 times he just fails. And that's important to know. Now on DraftKings, we've got 3 guys at the top. Miles Bridges, LaMelo Ball, CJ McCollum. Those are the 3 guys that are separating themselves from the pack right now. But you need 50 out of all 3 of them or more on a day like today. Complicates matters. Let's get to game number 5. We're at 7:05. We've got 140 people in here now, 53 likes. If you haven't hit the like button yet, go ahead and do so. I'm pretty sure it will help you out tremendously if you do that. It's usually good for you. Justin Bug, every day, Monday through Friday, there's a live show this early. Why wouldn't there be? How else would you get the goods, you know? Utah and Memphis. Feels like we're going to talk about this one a little bit different, but I don't know who's available for Utah. So, Q tag on Mitchell, no Gobert, no Trent Forrest. Feels like Mitchell plays in this one. Let's read some notes. Q tag might be ceremonial. Mitchell, he did fly to Memphis. It's a concussion protocol thing. I'm putting him in. All right, so it's always easier to project Utah if you just start them from scratch because they're so cut and dry. So we will start off right away. Mike Conley, 30 minutes. Donovan Mitchell, backup run, plus 17 more. Whiteside in for 32. We'll give Eric Paschall, basically the backup run. We'll get Rudy Gay to 20 minutes. We'll get Royce O'Neal to 33. Can I explain why I emphasize 50 as the needed score? Sure. So that's not everybody, but we'll use Bridges, Ball, and McCollum because they're all in the same sort of area. So I have my boom score set today. Just guessing. Now I will make some tweaks to this at 5x plus 15. So normally it's 5x plus 10. On an 11-game slate, you just need more fantasy points. So in order for Miles Bridges to hit his boom score, he's 7,600. 5x plus 15 is 53 fantasy points, which you can see here is the target score as well. So at 7,600, in order for you to boom, let's just say a guy that is basically essential to have, if Miles Bridges scores 53, you're like doing backflips that you have him. If anybody ever hits their boom score, like they can be in a tournament winning lineup with a high likelihood. Bridges' boom score is 53 at 7,600. He does that 25% of the time. LaMelo Ball, 8.4 times 5 plus 15, 57 is the target score. So that's the calculations. Now it's different for someone like Mason Plumlee. 4.1 times 5 plus 15. He needs 35 at 4,100. That's a big number. But if Mason Plumlee plays 26 minutes at 35.5 fantasy points, which is his target, what you're looking for is 1.37 fantasy points per minute out of Mason Plumlee. Not the craziest thing in the world. But that would be what you would need. So it just so happened that 50 was like a number that was regular for everybody we were looking at. It's not always just 50 for somebody. All right. Boyan, 32 minutes, 33 minutes. There we go. And then who are we missing? All right. We still need Clarkson. Clarkson would be in at probably. We'll take Boyan down to 32. We'll take Clarkson to 26. That leaves me 16 for Joe Ingles. Obviously, that's not correct. So we need to free up some playing time somewhere. Where do we get the playing time from? Well, we'll definitely take a couple minutes from Eric Paschall and give those to Rudy Gay. We'll take 1 minute away from Royce O'Neal, so we can give him 32. That will get me Ingles up to 21. Still not really in sniffing distance of what we're looking for, but I don't know where those minutes would come from. Boyan does play those big minutes. I mean, I guess they can, in theory, come away from Whiteside. Doesn't feel like that's what would happen, but we'll take Whiteside down to 30. And we'll free up 2 more minutes to Ingles that way. Now, unfortunately, we got to grab Utah rates. So let's do that as quickly as we possibly can. So let's go ahead and say that Rudy Gobert is off. And this would be games where Conley, Boyan, Clarkson, Ingles, O'Neal, Donovan Mitchell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need at least 5 of those guys to be available in the game. Now we can grab their rates. Because we want to make sure that we're getting this right. This is one of those bigger ones where if Donovan Mitchell is available, he will have bumps to things. Even though it's just Gobert out, it does change the team up a little bit. All right, so query is done. Let's grab the rates. We've got usage, assists, and rebounds. Now we could actually check out this Utah team. They're obviously a very different team with no Rudy Gobert. We'll start with Donovan Mitchell. We'll start with Boyan since he's played the most minutes in this scenario. Boyan Bogdanovich, 22.9% usage rate, no assists, basically no rebounds. Donovan Mitchell, 33.3% usage. Honestly, these guys really don't change all that much. Should have known that. Hassan Whiteside, 19.1% usage rate. He basically doesn't have an assist. He does, however, rebound quite well. Conley is next. Very low usage rate for Mike Conley with no Gobert. That doesn't surprise me. When your main pick and roll partner leaves and you replace him with Hassan Whiteside, things probably get worse for you. And then finally, Royce O'Neal, last guy we need to look at. 9% usage rate. Very little else. That's Utah. Go to Memphis. Shouts to Ja Morant for his all-star start. Good to see. Playing well this year. Shouts to also all-star Aaron. Aaron. That's how ridiculous it is. Andrew Wiggins. That is a farce. Just absolutely broken nonsense that should not be allowed to happen. Undermining the entirety of the all-star game. For Memphis, we've got no Dylan Brooks, no Kyle Anderson, no Tyus Jones. So basically the same rotation we've had. So we had no Anderson, no Jones, no Dylan Brooks. We got Desmond Bane back in for 33 minutes this last time out, which means that we got to give him at least 32 here. So we've got Steven Adams in for 26. He's just playing more than that now. So we're going to go to 28 there. Brandon Clark getting the straight backup run. And as you guys can see, Brandon Clark, straight backup. Played a little bit alongside of him on this Friday game, but that was also with no Bane. I don't think it's... Look, the fact that he got named an all-star, I can quibble on that one in the West this year. It's not like the most broken thing I've ever seen. To start is preposterous. They need to... That's a hole that needs to get plugged. All right, we're going to bump Bane up to 32 minutes. I'm going to take... I need to get DeAnthony Melton to 24. I need to take 6 minutes away here from Conchar. That takes him to 18. But I also then need to take those minutes away from Killian Tilly, in my opinion, or potentially Zaire. So we'll take Zaire down to 26. We're going to take... Oh, Aldama didn't play, did he? Okay, that's where we're going to get all that playing time from. Jaren Jackson's in for 28. I'm going to make that 29. We're going to get John Conchar now up to 24. Well, CG, that's not necessarily what that's saying. But I get where you're going there. And then, who else are we missing here? Who needs more playing time? 26 for Zaire. Who needs this playing time? Because I feel pretty dialed in for this. We'll take Tilly to 18, I guess. I mean, the fact that you have positions is part of the problem here. Like, it doesn't help to just start Jokic and Gobert next to each other. Like, that's just, it's fine. It'll be all right. It's the All-Star game. But if we want to look at Wiggins, all right, they've got him as a small forward on here, so that's fine. Like, he's having a really, really good year. And that's sort of the thing. It's the, like, Booker or Luka just make more sense from a logic standpoint. But, I mean, let's be honest. Andrew Wiggins is not having a bad season. 58% true shooting. He guards the other team's best wing and has been really great defensively. He's shooting 41% from three. It's not crazy that Andrew Wiggins is an all-star. We need to be clear here. I don't have a single issue with him being an all-star. He's not that far away from that sort of role. He's having a really good offensive season. He's doing exactly what Golden State needs, and he's playing some high-level defense while he does it. Like, he's not that far down the list of expected wins. So I don't want to overreact too much to it, but starting is preposterous. But like if you take just the West teams and just the small forward designation, I mean, he's third right here. And, you know, you can make some cases like, should Desmond Bane be starting over him? Maybe. That's a completely different story, but don't overreact to Wiggins because don't use predisposed notions on Andrew Wiggins. He's having a really, really good year. Get ready. Everybody thinks he's overpaid. When that contract comes up, he's going to make $20+ million again. Probably 25. All right, we're good where Memphis is rates. See, these are the things that I can't afford to do right now. The spirals about Andrew Wiggins. On Utah, Donovan Mitchell is 8,200 on FanDuel. You gotta play him. Oh yeah, I mean that's why it happened. It's the fan vote of playing in San Francisco, but that's neither here nor there. Hassan Whiteside 6,500 on FanDuel looks solid as well. But nah, you guys are underselling Fidel. You're underselling him a bit this year. He shouldn't be starting. That's just a quirk in the way that the voting's tabulated. But he's not an undeserving all-star. He's at the very least in the discussion. He's playing. Look, this is the guy that has to guard whoever the best person is on the floor every single night for them. Not a ton to like for Utah here outside of Mitchell and Whiteside, and that's assuming Mitchell plays. On the Memphis end, 10-3 Ja on DraftKings is all right. $6,100 Bane shooting guard small forward is pretty valuable. Steven Adams 4,700, but we're gonna have a lot of guys like that. Marvin Coombs. I played in 7 contests last night and took first in all 7. Most were $12 single entry. Made about 8x your entry fee. Show has been a huge help for me. Thanks, Marvin. Congratulations, man. 8x. That's a great day. It's a great day. Congratulations, man. I'm really happy you were able to get that done. Always nice to see. We're on to game number 6. So we're basically halfway through. Clippers and Heat. And barring anybody being in or out, this one should be easy. And I have no idea what's going on with Marcus Morris, so this one I assume is complicated. Oh, nope. No Marcus Morris, no Paul George, no Kawhi, no Jason Preston. So this should actually be pretty easy because we haven't had Marcus Morris for 2 straight games, which means we know what this rotation looks like. We've got Ivica Zubac playing 24 minutes. It's against Miami, so I don't think that's so crazy today. Hartenstein is starting to play more again. I think that is well-deserved. I'm going to get him up to 18 minutes. Serge Ibaka basically just goes out and sniffs the floor for a little bit. Batum in for 26 minutes. Might be a little high. We'll go to 25. Justice Winslow is playing probably the other minutes, so we're going to give him 20, maybe 23. That might be too many. We'll find out. Reggie Jackson in for 30. He's not playing those minutes. That's terrifying to think about. Eric Bledsoe's minutes are all over the map here. Amir Coffey is at 30. We've got Brandon Boston in for less. Luke Kennard should be in for more. But Terence Mann is the guy that I got to get a couple extra minutes from somewhere. We'll get Terence Mann up to 28. Take those from Brandon Boston. Think we're all right here. Although think I do need to grab. Unfortunately, I got to grab rates for the Clippers. Marcus Morris being off is a problem. So we're going to take Paul George off, Marcus Morris off. We'll say that I don't even know if it matters who played in the game. It probably doesn't. So let's get these rates. Because Morris sees such a big usage bump when Paul George is off the floor. Yeah, this just has to happen this way. We'll go Zubats in this query. No, it doesn't matter though. Copy. That Wiggins discussion has totally derailed my momentum, and it's all my fault. I bit so hard. I just love talking about stuff like that. I could do that all day. I really need like a venting show so that on days like this, I could just refer people to the venting show. All right, here we go. Rates for this team with no Marcus Morris. We'll start with Terence Mann, 16.8% usage rate. Aaron Campbell, thanks for liking the music. Someone doesn't. And yeah, hit that like button. It would be fun if you did. Kennard, 19% usage rate. When these guys are off the floor, that's always important to see. Justice Winslow, 17.5% usage rate, so he doesn't get the same boost that you would normally expect. But always have a podcast. Air Coffee does very little. Isaiah Hartenstein, 19.6% usage rate. I mean, like, nobody actually gets this usage except for Reggie Jackson. That's the weirdest part of all of this. Zubats, I cut off of the filter, so I'm just going to leave him be. Now I actually have to look at it because it's so stupid. Where does the usage really go on this team when these guys aren't on the floor? It's Reggie Jackson, because Zubats gets to like 19. I think that's just it. So, alrighty. That's the Clippers. I'm hoping that Miami is just... I don't know if Kyle Lowry's back or not, but that will be the swing piece. No Lowry. Butler, questionable. Left big toe irritation. Everybody else is the same, which means this is the same rotation that we normally get out of Miami. How is Darius Garland not starting in the East? I mean, that's a very meaningless distinction. I don't even know who the East starters are. Let's see, guards. I don't even know. I don't know who the starter. I don't give a shit who the starters actually are. All right, Duncan Robinson. Does he need like slightly more playing time? Does Max Strus need slightly less? Maybe do something like that. All right, so apparently Levine. I don't know who the starters are. Who are the starters in the East? DeRozan was listed as a guard on the All-Star ballot, so that's how that happened. Also an incorrect thing. Yeah, good point, Ken. Stop reading chat. You're right. I think we're all right here with this Miami rotation because it's not like we want to play Duncan Robinson. So we'll go ahead and look at Clippers. Oh, man, we have like 19 minutes to go, and I have 5 more games to go. We're not really playing anybody from the Clippers. They look terrible. Trey and DeRozan, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Trey and DeRozan should be starting. If DeRozan's a guard, I'm fine with that. There's nothing wrong with that East starting lineup. On the Miami side, I like Jimmy Butler if he plays 8,700 on both sites, and then Tyler Hero 6,400 on DraftKings. All right, no more All-Star discussions. We have 5 games to go and not nearly enough time to do it. We're going to Denver. on the Denver side. And again, as long as guys make the All-Star team, it doesn't matter who's starting and who's not. The starting thing is more of a popularity contest. That's why they weigh the fans so much. Denver rotation is the same as it usually is, but it looks like Bones is out of the rotation, so we're going to scrap Bones Highland. We got Monty Morris in for 31 minutes, Campazzo in for 20, Bryn Forbes in for 22. That might be a little bit too lofty. 35 for Jokic, 13 for Boogie. We got Zeke Naji in for 16. Seems fine. 28 for Jeff Green. I'm cool with. 34 for Aaron Gordon is probably one too many. We've got Austin Rivers playing 27 a game, so that's okay. Who am I missing here? Oh, Will Barton. Fucking obviously. So 33 minutes for Will Barton means I need to take 18 minutes away from everybody here. Easiest guy to lose those minutes will be Forbes for sure. Gets down to like 18. So I still need 14 minutes to go away here. We'll take 2 away from Zeke Naji. That means I need 12 minutes to go away. Boogie could conceivably leave this rotation now. I don't think that would be the wildest thing in the world. Oh, no. Austin Rivers just loses those minutes. Fucking duh. Austin Rivers goes back down to normal rotational minutes. There we go. We'll do something like that. Unfortunately, I should have to update these rates, but what I am going to do is just slightly knock back everything. So there's not too much to like for Denver other than Jokic. That's not a surprise. They play so slow. New Orleans Pelicans, I assume, are just going to be a disaster to look at right now because they were the last time they played. So Graham and Joval available. Josh Hart and Brandon Ingram both questionable. So I think we need to just project New Orleans as though they're full strength minus Zion, obviously. So we'll go ahead and get Josh Hart in for 35 minutes. We're going to get Herb Jones in for 34 minutes. We'll go 33 on Jones. We're going to say Brandon Ingram comes back, plays 34 minutes. We're going to say Joval is here playing 32. I'm going to assume that Jackson Hayes is the backup again. Get my watch on for right now. We've got Devontae Graham in for 32. Alvarado is the backup. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, when everybody is in, is playing about 21 minutes a game. Garrett Temple plays about 20 minutes a game, so we'll give him 18. Well, that's basically everybody. Maybe we throw Gary Clark those 3 minutes. There we go. Everybody in for New Orleans. Unfortunately, we got to grab rates. Actually, we don't really have to grab rates because nobody's out. So this will all stabilize. I think we're good, which means that we're done this game. 4 to go in 14 minutes is the goal, plus crunches. This one might be tough. Denver, it's Jokic on FanDuel, and that's about it. I don't have a huge interest in Barton on FanDuel. On DraftKings, he looks a little bit better because he's only 5,500. Aaron Campbell, if you think Will Barton's cheap on FanDuel, let me present to you Will Barton on DraftKings. Denver doesn't look that great, though, and they rarely do. On the Pels, if everybody's in, you can kind of play any starter you want. I don't think Ingram looks all that great. Joval's probably the guy that looks the best, but center's deep. It's just not that appealing of a game because Denver's 22nd in pace. The Pelicans are 23rd. There's just better games out there. Indy OKC. No idea who's available for Indiana. I hope that it's the same guys that have been available. That way we don't have to care. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Sabonis is questionable for this one, and we're going to have to put him on. And unless this says something that leads me to believe that he's not going to play, we're actually going to have to pull rates for Indiana too. He went through Thursday's practice, so I'm going to assume he's playing. So if Sabonis is playing, I think we could leave LeVert's minutes the same, Duarte's minutes the same, Dwayne Washington's minutes the same, Lance the same, Holiday the same, Lamb the same. We're going to say, I'm hoping Sabonis just starts at center, plays 35 minutes. You get Goga as the straight backup, O'Shea Brissett playing about 22 minutes, and then Torrey Craig playing about 26. But because life is complicated, we got to grab rates for Indiana. So let's do that. We're going to say McConnell off, Brogdon off, and I am also going to say Miles Turner off, even though I don't want to. And then we're going to say Domantas Sabonis played in the game, as did LeVert. I don't get the sense this is a gigantic sample. But we have got to hustle. And I'm already not moving nearly as fast as I would like. But we don't have much of a choice. These 11-game slates are tough on a Friday when I got to go to the gym. We might not be able to do crunches today, guys. And on an 11-game slate, I don't really mind it because none of this shit matters by the end of the day anyway. Yeah, I agree. We need more likes on this video. We got 184 people, 85 likes. Let's get north of 100. We should be over 50%. So we've got Indiana rates. That's what we were doing. I knew that. Karis LeVert, 30.3% usage rate in this scenario. Does get a bit of an assist rate bump as well, and a rebounding bump. Just does a little bit of everything other than be efficient. Duarte gets the 22%. Crazy number of assists. I don't trust that entirely, but we will give him a bit of a bump. Domantas Sabonis, 21.5% usage in these scenarios. I don't know how that's possible, but he does rebound the hell out of the ball. And then finally, we've got Justin Holiday. Does actually get a usage bump, which you would not expect. But that's about it. So that's Indiana. Decent spot just because they're playing OKC, but the pricing's not the best. No idea what's going on for Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City is their normal rotation. And they've actually been pretty normal lately, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, same sort of rotation every single night. We've got Shea in for 35. I think that's fine. Giddey in for 32 is fine. Lou Dort in for 32 is fine. After that, it's hard to really prioritize any individual person. Anybody can sort of fall into additional minutes depending on the day. Maybe I have Darius Baisley over-projected a bit and we give a little bit more time to Henrich Williams. But am I playing tonight? Probably. I'm on the deeper dive tonight, so I'll just be at my desk. So yeah, I will play tonight. OKC doesn't really need any changes, so we'll look at Indy. Uneventful if Sabonis is back. Sabonis and LeVert are the only two guys you can play, and that's a FanDuel thing. OKC, it's Shea, Dort, and Giddey like usual. Giddey on FanDuel over and over and over again. 3 games to go. Chicago and San Antonio Spurs. If we're lucky, this one moves incredibly quickly. For the Bulls, we've got no Lonzo, no Caruso, no Derek Jones. So this is the same rotation, right? Same as what we had this last time out. Kobe White played a little bit less. Don't think that's in the long-term plans. We'll take him down a minute. Devontae Green in for 24. Dosunmu in for big minutes. Levine in for big minutes. DeRozan in for big minutes. Vooch in for big minutes. We have this team locked and loaded already. So Chicago was easy. San Antonio, the same sort of ease. For the Spurs, everybody but Keita Bates Diop, which means yes, this is the same rotation we had last time. We got 32 minutes out of Jake Puddle. And then we got Jock Landale and Drew Eubanks splitting the rest of the time. I'm going to take him down to 14. We'll do something like this. Fidel, today's a total body day, so it's a lot of like Turkish get-ups and full body movement. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm already tired thinking about it. Vassell playing a little bit more these past 2 days is interesting. We'll bump him up to 27. McDermott's fine at 26. Could be 25 if you wanted it to be. I'm okay with these rotations, though, for San Antonio. So that's another game in the books that we don't really have to pay much attention to. Although, on Chicago, Zach LaVine is 7,500 and 8,300. That looks great. I think DeRozan is more than viable today on DraftKings. Vooch looks solid on FanDuel. Kobe White looks solid on FanDuel. On the San Antonio side, all the starters look pretty similar. Murray, obviously, a much higher ceiling, but relative to salary, Murray, White, Pirtle, Keldon Johnson, and Devin Vassell all look very similar. Definitely guys that are a part of like the core of your player pool, just not like the highest owned guys you'll get. 2 to go. Minnesota, Phoenix. This one, unfortunately, is going to be one we need to really pay attention to. Minnesota on the back-to-back is the complicating nature here. If Beverly didn't go yesterday, and we kind of knew that pretty early. I'm going to assume that what I have in here now is what we have from yesterday. It's not going to be, and I don't know the status of Russell. But at this point, this is a late game on a team with a back-to-back. It's not going to get me anywhere to change it. So we're going to just say Minnesota's the same as they were from yesterday. Phoenix, on the other hand, I believe is still the same, but I don't know if anybody's back. Yeah, still no Crowder, Ayton, Payne. And no JaVale. So this is the same rotation we got from Phoenix their last time out, which was Wednesday. The Big Four played more minutes. It might be different against Minnesota, but we're going to go to 36 and 12 here on Chris Paul. We're going to go to 37 on Devin Booker, 11 to Shamet. Cam Johnson, I'm going to take to 36 minutes. So thanks for being here, man. Yeah, SMP, I think that's a good idea. Biyombo in for 32. Let's go 31. Jalen Smith, 17. Bridges 36 feels right. Ish Wainwright 16. Okay. This all seems fine to me then for Phoenix. We don't have to change any rates. Phoenix certainly popping pretty aggressively. On the Minnesota side, doesn't really matter for right now. On the Phoenix side, though, it does. So Booker, Paul look great. Cam Johnson's your best play on the DraftKings side. And then still like Bridges and Biyombo, too. Final game, New York Knicks, Milwaukee Bucks. Honestly, we're probably not playing much here unless some guys are out, because the Knicks are not a great fantasy team to play, and they're certainly not going to look all that great against the Bucks. It's a Q tag on Noel, which means that everything that I have in here, I'm pretty comfortable with. We got 26 minutes for Kemba. Got to bring that down to 22. We'll bump up quickly to 22 as well. We got 36 in for Barrett. Sure. Grimes in for not enough. Fournier in for not enough. Center's fine. Randall's fine. Toppin's fine. I think we're all right there. It's probably not enough playing time to Quentin Grimes. Maybe a little bit of that needs to come from Burks. So we'll get up to 19. But it doesn't really matter what we're doing to New York here. They look terrible against Milwaukee, and they should. Yeah, let's get this over 100 likes, everybody. Milwaukee, which I assume is complicated. They have had some guys in and out. Grayson Allen is back. Wesley Matthews is back. Rodney Hood is doubtful. It does actually become kind of easy to do. So we take Rodney Hood out. We've got Drew in for 33. We get George Hill in for 21. We bring DiVincenzo's minutes down again to 22. We bring Pat Connaughton's minutes down to 22. We bump up Grayson Allen to 24. Oh, I still got to get Wes Matthews in here. So we take Jordan Nwora out. That gets Wes Matthews 18. That should make the rest of this team look fine. Don't have to change any rates for the rest of these clowns. So for the Knicks, I will do crunches at the gym. I don't think that anything from the Knicks looks any good outside of maybe like Randall and Barrett on FanDuel. On Milwaukee, clearly you could always go to Giannis. I think Drew Holiday looks okay. And I think Bobby Portis looks like probably the best option from Milwaukee. So we are through every game. I've got enough time that I can run these crunches for FanDuel and DraftKings, so we can hustle through this. Thanks for putting up with me. We made it through it as fast as we possibly could. 196 viewers, 109 likes. You guys are the absolute best. Absolute best. FanDuel Optimals. Alrighty. On the FanDuel side, we have $343, LaMelo, Donovan Mitchell, CJ McCollum, Cole Anthony, Miles Bridges, Cam Johnson, Bobby Portis, Robert Covington if he plays, and Mo Bamba. I don't think anything on that lineup confuses me at all. Those are all the names that I sort of expected to see. If we run our power rankings, we have... Oh, there's alarm number 1 so that I don't forget. Power rankings are not moving quickly. But it's looking like Miles Bridges is going to be at the tip of the spear here. Could be Cole Anthony, could be LaMelo. KPJ pretty high up here too. We'll have this all dialed in for the deeper dive with myself and Laffy tonight. I gotta play the role of Adam, so I'm gonna bring a little bit more detail than I normally do. While this runs, let's add all of the games to the summary table. Yeah, so Bridges has the highest boom across both sites. Not that we're surprised, but this should look the same. Bridges, Anthony, LaMelo Ball, Robert Covington, Mo Bamba. These guys are all bunched up at the top. Nobody's breaking free. McCollum, Porter, Washington, Giannis, Levine, Cam Johnson. Fidel, I'll be drinking pre-workout in about 5 minutes. So there's FanDuel. Let's look at DraftKings. I definitely don't have time to run Yahoo today. I apologize for that, but I will have a Yahoo Contenders video out. So, Ilya, boom percentage is calculated the same way it is on the website. I just have slightly different weights, but if you go to our boom bust tool, the formula is there. It's written above the table. All right, DraftKings Optimal. I wish I had time to talk about how I've been changing the boom percentage, but I don't. Cole Anthony, LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges, Cam Johnson, Steven Adams, Tyler Hero, Devin Vassell, and CJ McCollum. That is the optimal on DK. Can't say that I expected to see Adams or Hero or Vassell, but I'm not totally shocked by it. Interesting optimal though. Fidel, this isn't a highly caffeinated cup of coffee. But yeah, I actually forgot to get my pre-workout. Normally I have it sitting on the desk with me while I'm here. I forgot about it this morning. All right, power rankings on DraftKings. Miles Bridges is at the top. LaMelo Ball appears to be second. Cam Johnson appears to be third. We're going to get CJ McCollum fourth. That's a pretty clean tier, too. Simons, Chris Paul, Mason Plumlee. Keep your eye on Mason Plumlee today. Norm Powell, Keldon Johnson. That's where we're landing here for DraftKings. I use Jim. I think it's JYM. Something like that. But there's our power rankings for DK. I appreciate you guys being with me here today. Hectic one. We moved quickly. We got to where we needed to be. 7:48 a.m. I like it. Thanks for being here, guys. This is the process. Hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. Shout out to Prize Picks for being the presenting sponsor. It's on the banner up there. Awesemo.com/prizepicks-promo gets you all the goods, including a free month of Awesemo Plus. We're back again Monday morning. We're doing it all again next week. Everything's mixed up from the schedule because of lack of football, but the process isn't going anywhere. Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m.